Welcome back, everyone. We are just days away from UFC Fight Night. Robert Whittaker versus Reiner de Ridder. Pretty good fight night. Some great fights on this one, and that means it's time for me to break down every single fight on this card, starting with the first fight, going all the way up to the main event. You guys know how it goes. Let me just run through some of the fights on this card before I start off with the breakdown. This is actually a pretty good one, coming off the heels of UFC 318. If you haven't seen my recap yet, go check that out. But you know, you got really good fights. As I said, Whittaker, Reiner de Ridder in the main event's a good one. You got Petr, Yan, Markus, McGhee, Shara Bullet versus Marc, Andre Barriault, Almabayev, Jose Ochoa, Krylov, Guskov. You got some good fights. Bryce Mitchell, Saeed Nurmagomedov. You just continue going down the card. There's names after names after names. Even Carlos Leal versus Muslim Salikhov. That'll be a good striking matchup. Both those guys always bang. Damon, Blackshear, Davey Grant, Tabitha Ricci, Ribass, Ibo Aslan, Bilia, Elekana. I mean, you're starting to lose value here now, but most of the card is pretty good. That's actually a pretty good card compared to 318. But, you know, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it with the first fight of the night. Martin Buday versus Markus Buchecha. People forget, man, Martin Buday. This dude's got elite takedown defense. Up there with Khabib. Actually better than Khabib. 100% takedown defense, and you guys might think I'm joking. But Martin Buday, man, this guy, people forget, man, he was stopping takedowns of Uran Satibaldiev. People forget, man, not even Khabib won 8 UFC fights. I mean, one's Dana White Contender Series, but if we're counting that, man, 8 UFC fights, 100% takedown defense, Khabib made it 7, and then he got taken down in his 8th. Look at this. I don't know why I'm doing all this, but look at this. Michael Johnson took him down in his 8th fight. Khabib's takedown defense doesn't hold a candle to Martin Buday. Come on. I'm just playing around here, obviously, but he hasn't gone against like dudes that are obviously trying to take him down like at will. You know, Satibaldiev tried 2 in that fight, and he was close, but he didn't get them. Andrei Arlovsky's not going to take you down. I'm surprised Shamil went for none. Parisian, he went for one, I think, that got stuffed. Collier may have. Bresky probably didn't. Barnett probably didn't. Lorenzo Hood probably didn't. So he went through a couple guys that obviously aren't going to be taking him down. But Markus Buchecha, this guy's a wrestler. This guy's a wrestler. You even see his picture. He's got, there you go. This is the picture I was looking for. He's got the gi on, and he's, look at him. He's built like a heavyweight, he's a big burly, this is the one championship video. I can't show the footage, I shouldn't, but just you see the frame compared to this is the same frame as like your Buday right here. So, you know, you see the frame of him. He's actually built and like kind of bulked up for heavyweight a little bit. Martin Buday is just like this big fat guy. No shade on him, maybe a little bit, but 100% takedown defense is going to be tested this fight for sure. Buchecha will be going for takedowns. The big question is, if he doesn't get it, what's going to happen on the feet? And I think Buchecha's striking is still going to be better than Martin Buday. So I'm going to say Markus Buchecha is going to take down Martin Buday and submit him in the first or second round. That's going to be my pick. Moving on to the next fight of the card. Second fight up. Oh, man. I'm all over the place. Second fight up. We've got Muhammad Yahya versus Stephen Nguyen. Some people may call it Nguyen. I've said Nguyen in the past, but it's actually Stephen Nguyen. Something like that. This is a tough one, actually, to predict. A lot of people are on Stephen Nguyen by knockout. Probably. But, like, if you've seen a Stephen Nguyen fight, especially the Jarno Aarons fight, which he's coming off of, the amount of, he was getting his head spun in that fight. I don't love his striking defense. He's got, a 60% striking defense. And, both these guys are scrappers, but I think I probably would rate the chin of Stephen Nguyen's more than Muhammad Yahya's, because he's actually lasting to the distance, eating those shots. Muhammad Yahya's got knocked out in his last fight by Kawhi Fernandez, and a couple times before that as well. One time before that, but it was a pretty brutal knockout, and I think Stephen Nguyen, I don't see Muhammad Yahya knocking him out. This could be a win for Muhammad Yahya. I would not be surprised if Stephen Nguyen blew this fight, but I will say Stephen Nguyen most likely gets it done by knockout. That'll be the pick. Moving on to the third fight of the card, Ibo Aslan versus Billy Elekana. And I I thought Billy Elekana fought Ivo Aslan, but it was actually Bogdan Guskov that he fought, who's fighting on this card as well. But, what a fight. Billy Elekana, the way he lost that fight to Bogdan Guskov, like I'm pretty sure he was banging in that fight. Like he was trading with Guskov a bit, but Guskov was the obviously better fighter. He was landing better strikes, more powerful strikes, and ended up submitting Billy Elekana. Ivo Aslan's coming off a loss to Ion Cutelaba where he was throwing, trading with Ion Cutelaba on the feet, got cracked a little bit, shot a takedown, and got submitted. Yeah, that's pretty sad loss, but he was a massive favorite against Cutelaba, and I feel like that's a learning curve for him where he learns that he can't just throw his way out of a bad situation. He kind of has to be smart. So I think he may be a bit more reserved here, but he for sure is going to get Billy Elekana out of there early. I don't think Billy Elekana is really UFC material. I'll say that, but we don't really know the ceiling of Ivo Aslan either. You know, we don't know how good he's going to turn out to be. But I think he's still going to finish Billy Elekana. I'm going to say knockout or submission maybe. I don't know. I actually don't know here. I'll say knockout. I guess all his wins are knockouts. It's a pretty one-trick pony. Hook, 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 hook. That's going to be the finish. Moving on. Ivo Aslan, round 1 knockout. Amanda Ribas versus Tabitha Ricci. 12-6, 11-3. You get underdog odds for Tabitha Ricci? She's coming off a loss to Yan Xiaonan, Jesus. Yan Xiaonan. It was backwards and I was all thrown off about it. I say it Yan Xiaonan. I don't say Xiaonan Yan. Amanda Ribas coming off of 2 losses in a row. Rose Namajunas and Mackenzie Dern. She got submitted in that Mackenzie Dern fight. I think she may have won. Maybe one. No. Mackenzie Dern was on top of that fight. It was a 2-round fight, I'm pretty sure. Mackenzie Dern won the first and submitted her in the second. Made short work of her, got a takedown off, and beat her up. If Tabitha Ricci gets a takedown, she wins this fight. She's got a 5-inch reach disadvantage, so Ribas probably can beat her up on the feet pretty easily at range. But, Tabitha Ricci, she's gritty, you know, she's gritty. She'll go for takedowns. Maybe I've been rating her a bit too highly, but I think she's still going to beat Amanda Ribas. And even if it goes to like a close decision, they're going to give it to Tabitha Ricci over Amanda Ribas. You know, they're going to give Tabitha Ricci the split. She wins these split decisions. It just happens. I wonder why. But I'll take the underdog price at Tabitha Ricci at plus 120 by decision. That will be the pick. Maybe a submission as well. I would not be surprised. But Tabitha Ricci wins this fight. Moving on to Damon Blackshear versus Davey Grant. Pretty fun fight. 17-7 versus 14-7. 17-7-1 versus 14-7. 3-inch reach advantage. Why would they say 0.2? I've never seen 0.2. I didn't even think that was possible. I thought it was 0.5 or I thought it was either 0.5 or 0. You know? I didn't think the denominations were like that. 72.2 inches of reach is very odd. Like, why even list the 0.2? Round down. 3-inch reach, 3.2 inches of reach advantage over Davey Grant. 2-inch reach, height advantage, sorry. I'm all over the place. Height advantage for Damon Blackshear. 9 years younger than Davey Grant. And you guys know my rule, obviously. I don't pick old fighters. I don't pick guys that are 40 against young guys. It's just an instant fade in that point. Very select few beat that rule, but I'm not going to be picking a Davey Grant at 40 years of age to beat Damon Blackshear, who has great grappling, pretty good striking too. I get his last one. What was it? Cody Gibson in his last one, or did he fight? He fought after that. But the Cody Gibson one on the feet, Cody Gibson was doing pretty good, I'd say, pretty good. But Damon Blackshear got him down and submitted him with ease. And then Alatenge Lee, very close after that. I like the activity of Damon Blackshear. He's staying active, and I think he's gonna beat Davey Grant. I can't trust Davey Grant. I get he beat Ramon Tavares, and that was a good underdog pick, and I think I might have went with Davey Grant there, but I cannot pick him to beat Damon Blackshear. It just cannot happen. I will say, yeah, Damon Blackshear wins over Davey Grant by submission. That's going to be the pick. Submission in the second round. That's going to be the pick. Muslim Salikhov versus Carlos Leal is the next fight. Muslim Salikhov 2-fight winning streak. Carlos Leal just beat Alex Morono in his last fight. But listen, Muslim Salikhov, he's 41 years old, and you guys know what I'm about to say. Fighting a dude 10 years younger than him. He's been knocked out not many times, but one of them was last year. And listen, Carlos Leal, if you guys seen this dude fight, if you guys seen Carlos Leal fight, you know what I'm talking about here. But he's a fucking scrapper. A scrapper. This dude, when he came in against Rinat, everyone was calling him a steroid junkie. And I mean, I did too, and maybe rightfully so. You look at that dude's back. Look at that dude's back. The amount of pimples, I'll say, on his back are pretty crazy. And they look, I don't know if that looks natural or not, but Carlos Leal, he's a scrapper. He's going to be on the feet, throwing winging hooks, getting as close as possible in the clinch even. Boom, 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 you know? This dude throws like everything behind his shots. He knows how to throw power shots. And Muslim Salikhov, I don't know if he can really take Carlos Leal's punches at this point in his career. I think Carlos Leal is looking at a knockout over Muslim Salikhov. It might not be easy. Muslim Salikhov's no pushover. He's still got it at 41 years old, but that's already breaking my rule. I cannot pick a 40-year-old fighter. And Carlos Leal, I'm not fading Carlos Leal. There's no way I'm fading Carlos Leal. I'll say Carlos Leal by round 1 or round 2 knockout over Muslim Salikhov. That'll be the pick. Moving on to the main card now. Yes, it is. Bryce Mitchell versus Saeed Nurmagomedov. Very interesting fight here. 17-3 versus 18-4. Bryce Mitchell is... Oh, this is still 145. He's not moving down. Oh, no. It is 135. So this is his first fight. Maybe not first fight, but first fight in a while, at least at 135 pounds. He's moving down in weight now. And, this is such a tough fight. This could be... I don't think Bryce... I think Bryce could win. I think Bryce could win this fight. I don't think it's impossible for him to get this win. Has he lost 2 in a row? He's never lost 2 in a row. That's the thing with him. He's never lost twice in a row. He kind of does need a win like this. This would be an incredible win for him if he did get it done. But I think Saeed's striking's better than Bryce Mitchell. I don't think I'm saying anything crazy there. The grappling might be interesting. I don't know how their grappling's going to stack up. Both of them have never lost twice in a row. So this, or I guess he did on the amateur bouts. But this will be an interesting one for sure. I think I'm leaning towards Saeed for sure. I don't know why I'm even entertaining Bryce Mitchell. I don't think I've ever really picked him in a fight, except for Dan Ige and Kron Gracie, obviously. But I think Saeed's a little different. I beat Dan Ige, man, but I don't think Bryce Mitchell can grind out takedowns and grappling on the ground with Saeed. I don't see it happening. I think Saeed's going to win this one by decision. Or even knock him out. I could see Saeed getting a knockout here. Spinning back kick to the body or some shit like that, maybe. When was the last time he even got a knockout? Marc Striegel. I don't know. Maybe scratch that, but he's cutting weight, though, after getting put out unconscious. He's been knocked out before already. He could get knocked out here, but I'll say Saeed Nurmagomedov is going to win this fight by decision. I mean, Nurmagomedovs are always a safe bet, usually, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this one. Bryce Mitchell probably gets it done. But I'll say Saeed by decision. That's going to be the pick. Moving on, Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. This hurts. Because if that Dominic Reyes fight didn't happen, I probably would be picking Nikita Krylov here over Bogdan Guskov. I probably would. Bogdan came in and lost to Volkan Ozdemir, who's not a bad loss at all. I think it was a shorter notice fight too, and he got cracked on the feet and put out in the first round. It was he was scrapping though. He was trading on the feet. I don't think Nikita Krylov is going to be able to eat the shots of Bogdan Guskov. I think Bogdan Guskov is probably looking at a knockout over Nikita Krylov. I get he's an underdog here. I kind of like the odds. This might be my first time on the Bogdan Guskov train. But I mean, 10 losses at this point, that's not really fancying me. I think I'm getting a better feeling about Bogdan Guskov here on a knockout streak, might I add. This dude, two knockouts in a row and then the submission, finishing streak. And Nikita Krylov, he was on a run there, 3 fights in a row, but got finished by Paul Craig, got finished by Dominic Reyes by knockout. Bogdan Guskov's going to get it done, plus money. Get it while it's hot. You know, Bogdan Guskov's going to knock out Nikita Krylov in the first round. That's going to be the pick. Moving on, Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. Jose just fought like a month ago. Wow, he fought after I fought, and I fought June 7th, and he's already fucking back out there. That's insane. That's making me look bad. I need to get back out there, man. I have an exhibition on Saturday, but this dude just lost a few months ago as well, 4 months ago, to Manel Kape. It was kind of a weird one. There was eye pokes by both of them, and then Manel Kape knocked him out with the eye poke on the finish. It was something like that. I haven't seen it in a month or two, but Jose, 2-inch reach advantage, all the momentum in the world, 7 years younger than him. That might actually hurt him. Asu's more closer to his prime, I'd say, than Jose Ochoa. But listen, I get Asu's like 21-3. It's a great record compared to 8-1. Pretty comparable records actually, like if you like ratio wise. But Almabayev's wins, you got to look at them for what they are. Like, he's going to Mateusz Nicolau. He did get a knockdown there, but I'm pretty sure Mateusz Nicolau had a moment in like the 3rd round where he was coming back and nearly got it done, but couldn't do enough in time. I'm pretty sure there was a moment in the 3rd round like that where Mateusz Nicolau was coming back hot trying to get a finish. I do remember something like that. And Jose Johnson, I get it, like, he's a tall guy, but he's pretty terrible. Jose Johnson got put out in like how fast in his last fight against let me do a little sidetrack. Who did Jose Johnson just lose to in like 10 seconds? Felipe Bunes, 2 minutes. Yeah, that's how he lost last time, but CJ Vergara, Ode Osborne, these wins are not that good. And Jose Ochoa, he's knocking out dudes stiff, like beating them up. There was a cool moment with Cody Durden as well, where Cody Durden on the face-off like pulled him in, did the Trump handshake to him, and then after Jose Ochoa completely bitched him and knocked him out in the first round like a little chump, he shook Cody Durden's hand and pulled him into him the same way that Cody did to him before the fight. Kind of sunned him. And Almabayev, I've seen this dude get rocked. He just got put out by Manel Kape, and I don't rate the dude. I really don't rate his style of just grinding out control time. I don't really rate his striking, apart from a random spinning wheel kick that he may throw out every 1 or 2 fights. I think Jose Ochoa has a much better chance to get a finish here. I really do. Call me crazy, man, but I'm going to say Jose Ochoa by round 2 KO or decision. Jose Ochoa, KO or decision. Probably round 2 or round 3 KO for Jose Ochoa. That's going to be the pick. I just see, like, there's a different level of, both these guys are going for different things in a fight. Asu's going for a 15-minute out point, and Jose's going for a finish. And I think that speaks volumes to the level of, to the kind of fighters these guys are, you know? So that's why I'm going with Jose Ochoa by knockout. And that's going to be the pick. Moving on, Shara Bullet versus Marc-Andre Barriault. 15-1 Shara Bullet versus 17-9 Marc-Andre Barriault, coming off of a brutal win over Bruno Silva at UFC 315, I think it was, in Toronto. I was live in attendance for that one. Incredible performance by him. I had Bruno Silva winning. Shouldn't have. I'm a dummy. He had Bruno Silva snoozing on the canvas for like 10 minutes. The dude had to get stretchered out. It might not have looked as bad on camera. I was in the fucking... I thought he died. Legitimately. There was a moment in my where I'm like, is he even moving? He was out for like 10 minutes, not moving, face down. They had to bring a stretcher out and get him out of the ring on a stretcher. He didn't stand up in the ring. That's incredible. That's crazy. That was from Marc-Andre Barriault. But Shara, he just coming off his first loss to MVP. He had a massive reach disadvantage against MVP. I feel like that doesn't get talked about. Let me show you the reach, the difference in reach. Michael Venom Page, 6-inch reach advantage over Shara. Much closer reach with Marc-Andre Barriault and Shara. I don't think there's going to be like that. That was kind of a thing. Shara couldn't get close enough to MVP, and that's also MVP's style. Like, he's going to be bouncing in and out on that back foot, you know, circling the ring, trying to just tip tap at you, pitter pat. I'm not saying he's bad or anything. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just explaining the style. You know, he's jumping around the ring, moving around. It's a good style. It's good footwork. Shara could not do anything about it. Marc-Andre Barriault's not moving like that. Let's just be real. Marc-Andre Barriault's not moving like MVP. He doesn't. It's not how he goes. I hate to say it, guys. Marc-Andre Barriault has been knocked out a couple times before. That's why I was picking Bruno Silva. I thought that if anyone was going to get a knockout, it was going to be Bruno Silva. I get it's a pretty dumb pick in hindsight, but Marc's been knocked out 3 times before, and in his last 5 fights, 2 of those are knockout losses in the first round. I'm going to say Shara knocks out Marc-Andre Barriault. By something crazy. It's going to be something crazy as well is the thing. I know it's going to be some insane, like, it's going to be a spinning wheel kick, or it's going to be a spinning back fist, or an elbow, a lead elbow or something like that, or maybe a Superman or a fucking hitch kick to the face. It's going to be some crazy kick or blow it's just going to knock Marc-Andre Barriault out. And Shara Bullet's going to get a round 1 or a round 2 TKO win over Marc-Andre Barriault. Do not overthink this one. I get he just lost his first fight ever, but it's a little bit different than this fight. You know, MVP moves way differently than anyone else Shara Bullet had ever fought. Marc-Andre Barriault is a little bit back to the basics, if you know what I mean. If you get what I'm trying to say there. But yeah, Shara Bullet's going to knock out Marc-Andre Barriault without a doubt, first or second round. That's going to be the pick. Petr Yan versus Markus McGhee. Oh my. Oh my, this is actually an insanely tough fight. This is actually an insanely tough fight to pick. Oh my. Petr Yan. Oh my. So what I see happening in this one is, listen, Petr Yan, he's a career slow starter. We all know this. This has been, it's a normal thing for Petr Yan to lose the first round and come back and win. Markus McGhee, I could see this dude kind of closing the odds a little bit in that first round. Getting Petr Yan's odds from maybe a minus 400 at the end of the week. In that first round, we're going to see Petr Yan maybe get closer to a minus 150. They're going to start thinking Markus McGhee's getting this done. Markus McGhee might end up winning that first round. He might be outboxing Petr Yan a bit in that first round. You know, Petr Yan starts off slow. Second round kicks in. I think Petr Yan's going to mix in some takedowns. He's going to mix in some of his boxing. And he's going to take home the round 2 and round 3. Markus McGhee might slow down a bit. We're going to see Petr Yan really set the pace in the later end of this fight. And he's going to take home a decision victory. I'm not worried about Petr Yan getting knocked out or put out or anything. Markus McGhee's a dog. He's a dog. I really do rate Markus McGhee. He wouldn't have got given an opportunity like this if the UFC didn't rate him as well. So they obviously think as highly of him as I do. But Petr Yan, he's just a step too high, I think. He's right there. Like, he's the step below a title right now, you know? I think they should build Markus. I think they should have built Markus McGhee maybe one fight before a fight like this. But Petr Yan's going to get this done by decision. And overall, I don't think it hurts Markus McGhee's value too much. But he is 35. I mean, if he won this fight, he'd get a title shot. Probably. This is a huge jump up, though. Number 12 compared to a number 3 rank. I'm going to say Petr Yan takes home a decision victory here over Markus McGhee. That's going to be the pick. Moving on to the main event of the evening, Robert Whittaker versus Reiner de Ridder. Oh, I don't even know what I'm doing here, man. Robert Whittaker 26-8, Reiner de Ridder 20-2. This this isn't an easy fight to pick. I won't lie. This is not an easy fight to pick. Um, fuck. Robert Whittaker's at a 5-inch reach disadvantage here. 4-inch height advantage here. So Reiner de Ridder's going to look way taller and be a bit longer than Robert Whittaker. But I think Robert Whittaker's striking is way better than Reiner de Ridder's. I don't think I'm saying anything crazy. You know, tell me if I'm making new ground here, if I'm covering new ground here. But I think Robert Whittaker's striking is going to be a bit better than Reiner de Ridder. And where Reiner de Ridder might win here, maybe in the clinch, maybe if he gets on top of Robert Whittaker. I mean, we just saw him submitted pretty quickly by Khamzat Chimaev, but I don't think Reiner de Ridder really is the same on the ground as Khamzat Chimaev. I think we're looking at a Robert Whittaker win by knockout, wearing down Reiner de Ridder. I mean, we saw him gas pretty hard in that Gerald Meerschaert fight before he ended up getting that round 3 submission win. He was gassed out. He can say whatever he wants. He was gassed out. He was gasping for air. I could see a similar situation where Robert Whittaker just kind of grinds him out, wears him down until the 3rd or 4th round, where he ends up getting a TKO win. Backs up Reiner de Ridder against the fence, combo, 1-1-2, body, head. Reiner de Ridder folds against the fence, boom, 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 something like that. Or his classic 1-2 head kick. It'll be something like that, and he's going to knock out Reiner de Ridder in the 3rd or 4th round. I just can't see Reiner de Ridder. I don't see it happening, man. Maybe he does, though. He's looking undeniable at this point. I mean, he just put out Bo Nickel. But I was picking Bo Nickel. And Robert Whittaker's levels above Bo Nickel. So, like, I think I gotta keep picking against RDR. I got a feeling he's not going to win one of these ones. And I think Robert Whittaker, he's good enough to knock out Reiner de Ridder at some point in this fight. So I'm going to say Robert Whittaker, round 2 or round 3. Round 3 or round 4, Robert Whittaker's going to knock out Reiner de Ridder. That's going to be the pick. Let me know what you guys think. That's all the fights on this card, all 12 of them. Again, if you haven't seen that UFC 318 recap, go check that out. Yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good one, and goodbye.